206, meaning a magic number of 104. So voting taking place. Remember, the 2026 World Cup, the first to expand to 48 countries, meaning 80 matches, over 1,100 players. The United bid promising $14 billion in revenues, $11 billion in profit for FIFA. The infrastructure is there. Morocco has a lot of work to do. They were deemed a high risk due to their lack of infrastructure by the FIFA Evaluation Committee. But these nations, Lexi, are voting the way they want to, not the way they have been instructed, at least in how the tours are taking place.
The results are ready, and I'm giving back the floor to FIFA President to announce the winning bidder.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. So we have a winner for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The member associations of Canada, Mexico, and USA have been selected.
Yes! Yes!
To host the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
Yes!
Thank you.
That's a big one.
Dear delegate, ladies and gentlemen, silence in the room, please.
I would like to ask now the representatives of
Yes!
the United Bid to come on stage, please, and
Yes!
the president of CONCACAF, please.
All right, so we got it, as you saw. So cancel my plans 8 years from now. In that summer, I'm not taking any classes. I'm not doing any summer school. I'm gonna be at every single U.S. game. This is warning now to future employers, relationships, family obligations, nothing's stopping me. I don't care what happens, nothing's stopping me. If somebody's getting married, I don't care. Even if I'm getting married, I'm gonna ditch my own wedding. I don't care, whatever it is. But yes, this is great. This is awesome. I can't wait. I literally can't wait. It's 8 years from now, which is going to be a hell of a long time, but I cannot wait, because this is going to be great. It's going to be great, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited, because, oh man, it just means I'll be able to attend a World Cup. The amount of fans that are going to be made, there are going to be kids who are, 8 years old, 6, however old they're going to be. They're going to be young kids who are going to be, finding out about this as they grow up. They're going to learn through parents or whatever it is that they're that the World Cup's going to be hosted here, and they're going to be following their favorite players, and they're, it's just going to be a great moment, because to see the transition and the sort of contrast between 1994 and 2026 is going to be something that I think is it's going to be a really, really cool story to see how far the game of soccer has progressed in this country, and how it's progressed for the better. And I mean, even without that, MLS and everything, it's gonna be one big party, and I'm super excited for it, super excited for it. So Well, that's taken care of. Now we can get down to business. We can get down to the nitty-gritty of actually enjoying the 2018 World Cup that's going to happen. That starts tomorrow. So, just a few news things, news updates, and talking points. We're going to cover VAR, which is something you'll probably see if you're watching games. And then we're going to cover a news story. We'll start with the news story, actually, because it's really quick. So it was just sort of reported today that the manager, the coach of Spain's national team, he apparently, well, he is getting the vacant job at Real Madrid, the place where Ronaldo plays, because their manager left. And so they needed a manager, and so the Spanish national team manager, for whatever reason, went out and basically got the job. Real Madrid announced it, and the Spanish FA, the Football Association, essentially just like the governing body of soccer in Spain, and the Spanish national team was like, dude, that's not cool, and so they sacked him, or they fired him, essentially. And so I guess, I don't know, I mean, he could still be a coach or something for the, I mean, I think, hold on, let me just, I'm gonna, so, yeah, it looks like, I mean, the players supposedly want him to keep his job, but it looks to be final. So Spain are going to be without their manager, who has led them to be undefeated in their last 20 matches, which is something to watch. So it looks like Spain might not be, it can go two ways, one of two ways. The one way is everything collapses, and by collapses for Spain, it might mean they get out of the group still, but it could be that they fail earlier in the knockout rounds, or it could be that they're so, I guess, incentivized, the players are, that they go and win the whole damn thing. Only time will tell whether or not. We'll see. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's hope it works out for them. That sort of situation. And then we're going to now move into VAR. So VAR is something you'll hear probably a decent bit over the World Cup. It's essentially what VAR stands for is Video Assistant Refereeing. It's a new thing as of roughly like 2 years ago. It was implemented in sort of leagues around the world. A few leagues have rejected it. Some don't like it. There's a lot of problems with it. It's a new system. It's just growing pains. It's just like any new refereeing or a rule system. So the best I can attribute it to is to just any sort of official review in American football, or like the challenge system in baseball, and maybe hockey. Just any sort of situation where they go to a separate location and to sort of assist with the refereeing decisions, but it's a little bit different because it's a different sport. So essentially what it is you've got the referees for the match. They already have goal line technology, which means that if the ball crosses the goal line, the referee has a watch that'll buzz and it'll say, look, it's a goal, or it'll say no goal. So it's completely clear that was an issue a few World Cups ago, or a few matches ago, or whenever, that that system wasn't in place. A ball went over the line, it wasn't counted, and it was kind of a controversy. So, but what video assistant refereeing does is there are 4 situations in which the video assistant referee can be used. It's for goals, penalty decisions, red cards, and examples or instances of mistaken identity. That's basically if somebody gets a yellow card and it's the wrong player who should have gotten it. That one really doesn't come up much. But goals could be like if there's a foul in the lead up to a goal, or if the player was offside in the lead up to the goal and it wasn't called, then the goal will either stand or it won't. Penalty decisions, obviously, so if there's a foul in the penalty box, then it'll be a penalty or it's not. And then red cards are, if there's this, really harsh tackle, you can determine if it's a red card or not. And you can even reverse a red card that's been given or whatnot. So what'll happen is the referee stops play, like he'll be listening in, like he'll have a earbud in, be listening to people talking to him in his ear, and basically if he'll get the VAR referees are in a studio somewhere way else. They've got a bunch of other people looking at it too. There's a lot of I'll put a link to a video of FIFA actually describing how they're going to do it at the World Cup if you want, basically a concise version. It's 6 minutes long, but it's people look at a screen, they talk to the referee, determine if there needs to be a change. The key thing is if there's a clear and obvious error, which is kind of subjective whether something is clear and obvious. But those are the words in order to switch and reverse a call. So if there's something that's clearly, if some player was clearly offside, or if it was clearly a handball or something like that, then they'll make a decision based on that and switch it. But the referee will make a TV screen square box thing, and that will indicate that the video assistant referee is being used. And sometimes the referee will just get a hearing, thing and say, okay, this is this, and make a decision. Sometimes he'll go over to a screen he's got offside on the side of the field just so he can see a specific incident, so he can make a change to it, and go from there. A lot of people don't like that because football has been so fluid and so sort of subjective in the past. Some people really like the indifferent calls, but I think it's a good thing, this VAR. Major League Soccer uses it, and it has a few problems. Some matches kind of really, point out the flaws. It takes too long. There's too many decisions that might, mess up. And I think the big thing is it takes too long, and there's confusion with it. FIFA have put in this system where it's going to be sort of very clear what's being decided, and what the decision was, to help out fans, and certainly with commentators here, it'll help because they'll be able to look at it with replays as well and see the thing and analyze it right there. People in the stadium won't have the analysis, but they will at least get something on the screen telling them, look, this is what we're reviewing for. And then, so I think it's a good thing. We'll see how well it's implemented. It can only really get better. It's not terrible. And they're bringing in, referees who are used to this sort of system, Major League Soccer referees, German Bundesliga referees, and others. But, obviously they'll be training, and they'll have the training and experience needed to use the system. So tomorrow is the first game. I'm gonna probably keep the remaining, because once tomorrow starts, it's non-stop games for probably like 2 weeks or so, with all the group games going on. It's sort of a rolling format. I think there's like 3 or 4 games a day. So you'll have one group and half of another group go in a rolling format, and then as time progresses, we'll see what happens. But tomorrow it's Russia and Saudi Arabia. It's the only game. It's the opening ceremony. It's at 10 a.m. on FS1. You might as well wake up to watch Russia lose and laugh at Russia and Putin and all of that, because what's more American than that? After that, I'm going to give you an update. The score, if anything interesting happens, it might be a snooze fest. Who knows? I'm probably going to wake up and watch it. Could be a waste of my time. We'll see. But yeah, so the next videos after that are just going to be, I'm going to go recap, point out anything interesting that might be happening, any narratives, interesting games for the next day, or what the games are for the next day, and then I'll pick one game to watch, so to speak, which is probably going to be the game that I'll try and watch. I have stupid school that I have to do, homework and stuff. That'll probably get in the way of me watching every game. Also, some games are ridiculously early in the morning. I think there's like a France-Australia game at like 5 in the morning. Wouldn't even recommend getting up for that one. And I mean, just it's too early for that kind of game, and it'll probably be France winning anyway. So who cares? But yeah, so here we go. This is the start of it, but we got the bid. That's all that matters. Now we can finally enjoy this World Cup in peace and tranquility. And yes, see you in 2026. Just kidding. I'll see you tomorrow.